All right, folks, I'd like to introduce one-time world champion, three-time U.S. distance champion, Avery Jenkins. Let's hear it for Avery. Come on.
You got that? You got it? All right on. Thanks for coming out here. Like I said, I'm a former world champion. I'm a three-time U.S. distance champion here. I've been here over a decade now. My first time at USDGC was 2000, and I've been here every year since. You know, it's the magic they put on as a staff, from Innova to what Harold does to what JP does. This is an incredible event, and I'm glad you guys have been a part of this. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to throw some accurate up shots. If you guys are cool with that, some standstill up shots, something. I don't know. You can throw some shots over the standstill over the lake, maybe. I don't know. No, I'm here to talk about distance. Talk about just pure, all-out golf distance. I think some of these people want to know about how you throw farther, or maybe add a little yardage to your shots. I'm going to talk about how you throw just pure out golf distance, and then the difference of that to how you throw pure out distance golf shot. You know, World Championship, USDGC distance contest shots, right? It all starts with kind of utilizing the power of your body, right? It's not just your arm. You're not going to throw a disc 500 plus feet just using your arm. You're using everything, right? And all shots, no matter what you're throwing, putting, approach, driving, you're using your hand, you're gripping the disc. This is all you have between you and the disc is the grip itself. There's many different kinds of grips you can use for throwing a distance shot. I've varied my grips throughout the years and really kind of stuck with one that worked the best and got me the most power, and it's called the power grip. For all of you that know, a power grip would be when you tuck all your fingers, 4 fingers underneath the rim, pads on the inside of the disc, gripping very tightly. I started using this shot, or using this grip, for the fact that I can get a lot more power, and I get a lot more power like with big turnovers or big rollers. And it wasn't the easiest thing to get used to for those who have not tried a power grip. It's not the easiest thing to adjust from a fan grip to a power grip, but trust me, do try it. It will help. Just alone with the grip will help you get distance. So 4 fingers in the bottom, and then your thumb on top. Your thumb is very crucial in this sense, that you have 4 fingers applying pressure on the bottom. All you have on top is your thumb pressing down to counterbalance the pressure of those 4 fingers. So the thumb is very crucial in how hard or how firm you can grip a disc. And I'm pressing down my thumb, and I actually have a space right in here under from the actual palm to the disc. I'm not touching the disc with the heel of my hand. It's just my thumb pressing down. I almost consider like choking down on the disc by not having that pressure there, but just having it just with my thumb, that I can have a control of when the disc comes out of my hand. When I can kind of ease up the pressure on the thumb, it comes out so much cleaner than it would to have my whole palm of my hand on the disc. But the grip, extremely, extremely crucial. And try the power grip. Like I said, just that alone can get you some good distance. Next, as we go to the whole arm swing, right? You're going to try to get a nice, good, powerful, fluid arm swing across your chest. Try to create power. Try to use your major muscle groups. And you can get up a little higher to keep a nice flat pull, a flat arm swing across your chest. That will increase your distance. You're utilizing your major muscle groups, like I said, using your pecs, your traps, your deltoids. You're using a lot more of those major muscle groups to propel the disc. Instead of just trying to keep it away from your body, use more muscles that way. If you can keep it higher, closer to your body. And like saying that, closer to your body means you're throwing out here, you lose a lot of distance, a lot of power. The closer you can keep to your body, you can utilize more of your center of gravity, and you can drive a lot more momentum to drive the disc. And that's the bent elbow theory. You're bending your elbow, pulling the disc across your chest, driving the elbow, and then following through. A nice fluid extension of your body. Everything with your arm is everything with distance. You use your body to almost catapult the disc. And then you kind of work your way down. You have your torso. You have a twisting motion where you're trying to drive the disc, but you're using your abs and your obliques to really kind of rotate and turn on the disc. As you work your way down, you have your legs. Your legs, your calves, everything, that's to drive the disc. It's everything from like kind of a ground up theory to drive the disc with your entire body. And like I said, now use your arm, using your whole body to drive the disc. A lot of it starts with even the walk up and into the actual run up. And I say run up, but very lightly run up. I'm not saying a run. I'm saying a nice controlled motion forward. I use a 4-step walk up where you're taking a light left, a medium right, and you're going to actually, when you're right here, your hips are slightly turning, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to rotate your hips back. So at that point, with this step here, you're going to cross back. And it's almost like it's really hard to do in slow motion, but when you're crossing back, you're turning your hips back. And then with that very last step, that 4th step, you turn your body, matching with your hips, and then you're bringing it all through at once. So I'm saying you're bringing your hips back, you're bringing your upper body back, and then you're bringing it all forward at the same time. It creates a lot of power, like I said, from the ground up. You're using your legs to drive the disc. And pushing forward with your body, using the momentum that you have. Another thing with actually that plant is you're trying to plant with the side of your foot facing 90 degrees from your body. And that theory is that when your leg is this way, you can drive in the disc a lot farther. You can get a lot more power into it. At the time where your foot opens up, it opens up your hips and takes away a lot of the power. I know a lot of players that will lose power just from having their foot over rotating and pointing forward, and you have nothing. You have no resistance off your hips to create power for your upper body. If you haven't tried that, try the difference between having it 90 degrees or having it this way. You don't have any power this way. You have a lot more power when this leg is turned here. You can drive into it, right? And it's almost like a tightness. You feel a whole tightness up the side of your hips, up the side of your obliques, and a whole tightness through here. That's when you're trying to really kind of get the timing down. And that's a big sense of the word for saying timing. You can be big, you can be strong, but technique and timing is what will get you the most distance. Right. It's a lot of kind of breaking down my own technique over the years, watching many distance throwers from the past, watching the Stokeleys, all the big distance throwers of the past when I was kind of coming into the game being a pro. And you see a lot of the bigger throwers, they had that same approach to the game where they had a nice controlled run up. They weren't trying to run, they weren't trying to force nothing, and they're trying to keep everything on time. And like I was saying, with the whole technique and the timing, that's very crucial for the fact you don't have to be big and strong to throw a disc. You don't. It helps. Trust me, it helps you get a little more power, but you don't. Technique is everything, and timing is everything. Timing for the fact that it gets you on point to where you're getting your body, using your body to drive it, like I said, and a second early or a second late with this plant, and you're trying to, come through with your arm, a second early, a second late could cost you 40, 50, 60 feet sometimes. And timing is very crucial. So what I'm trying to talk about is when you're coming through, you're planting with that foot, right? You're trying to get this foot to plant as you're coming through with your arm. You're trying to get it a split second before that happens. If it happens at the same time, you lose a lot. But if you get it a split second before, that's when you can drive the disc, like I said, from the ground up and really turn on it. And then, like I said, if you're going to plant a second late, you're already coming forward on your upper body and your lower body's behind. And then you lose distance entirely. So timing, you want to come in, legs, a split second, planting, turning, as your whole upper body comes through, a split second after. That's where you utilize the most power. You look at a lot of distance throwers, they hit, they plant, and in slow motion is right when they turn here, they're reaching back as far as, a good straight arm, reach back nice and high, bent elbow, and they're driving the disc by using your leg to drive the disc forward. And that's where you get the most distance for your legs, your hips, and using your body to drive that disc. Yes. Good question. So when you are planting, you're landing with your foot 90 degrees, and you're rotating over. Your heel is going to be the one that spins and rotates. in a physics sense, your heel can rotate and spin like a lever, like a fulcrum. It can spin and rotate a lot easier than it can the ball of your foot. You see a lot of players that try to land with their toe and try to spin on their toe. It's not as clean, and now that you lose a lot of power with your legs if you don't actually. Can you see? All right. And it's when you play with your toe, your toe's bent and your knee's bent, and it's hard to drive the disc with your legs. But when you're actually turning on the disc and having your heel planted and you're turning, it rotates a lot better because all the pressure, all your weight is coming down on that one angle. Now, a lot of it's physics, and when I relate to physics, I try to keep it simple. Is another thing. You want to stand up tall. You want to have a good posture when you're throwing. You don't want to be slouched over, arm kind of lagging. You want to be upright because everything rotates cleaner at this angle. So you want to have a nice upright, chin up, chest up, body up, and you rotate but cleaner when you're actually upright, and your disc is coming across at this other angle here. So you're standing upright, and the disc coming at this angle here. It's just keeping it simple, keeping it dialed, keeping it related to physics, and your body works a lot better biomechanically using that sense. See here. Another thing with the arm pull, you want to reach back, but you want to keep it in a nice straight line when you're pulling through. Anything over rotating, you're losing a lot of power. You want to actually even try to vary off a A to B kind of line. You want to reach back one line and pulling through. By doing that, you're using your body to pull a nice straight line, but then you're using your fingers and your wrist and your forearm and your elbow. Your elbow works at a real nice hinge when it's at a nice plane. For the fact that it opens up like a door hinge. It opens up real clean this way. If it's a different angle, it doesn't open as clean. When it's right here, it opens up real nice and clean, real consistent that way. With a grip, nice firm tight grip. You're not going to release it too early. It just falls out of your hand. If you grip too tight, you might hang on to it. And also a tight grip allows you to create what Dave Dunapase calls a muscle bounce or a tendon bounce. Is when you have a nice locked wrist and you're tilting it down, keep it nice flat. You have like a slight little bounce when you're gripping. You want to have your wrist and your forearm real nice and tight, but the rest of your body loose. That way you gotta get that little spring, the little spring action that you're looking for with a nice tight grip, but then keeping the rest of your body relaxed. You really don't want to you want to go in all tight trying to throw a shot. You want to be relaxed, walking up, approaching, smooth, fluid movement. And at the very last second, you're right when you're pulling back and pulling through, that's when you accelerate the quickest. It's a powerful shot. You use a lot of momentum to drive your body, but keep loose, and then you bring it all. You come in like 40, 50, 60, and then you're going like 110 right here. You're trying to annihilate it. You're trying to kill it. And you bring it about 110% when you're trying to throw a distance shot. On a golf shot, you might want to try to keep a little more control, like in the 80 to 85% range, because accuracy is one thing, distance is one thing, and on a golf course, you're obviously trying to be consistent, accurate down the fairway. Distance, you can kind of let loose a little more, and you don't have a landing zone per se. You just want to put it out there as far as possible and try to get out there a long ways. So let's get on to distance. Any questions on just golf distance? First off, before I go on there. We're releasing that? So you're asking what do I release my shot at? I'm trying to get it where I'm like full extension here when I'm pulling through, and right when I get to about almost the extension of my arm, it's coming out right about there. It's coming out like, I don't know, say 5 degrees before, I'd say 180 on that. You're gonna feel it rip out of your hand anyway. You're not really trying to let go of it. It's gonna rip out of your hand. When you're putting a shot, I'm trying to throw a hyzer, I'm putting it there. It's gonna rip out, but it's coming out a little sooner than that. But that's what that tear is. That's where you're trying to get that accurate shot. Is you're putting it in that location, that zone, and you put your arm in that spot. And I try to hit certain spots by just kind of have my arm and my hand finish there. Good question. Any others on just golf distance before going to pure distance? All right. So distance, just another monster entirely. Like I said, you don't have to be accurate, but you have to be accurate in a sense where you know where your disc's going to go in a wider landing zone. On a distance shot, you have to kind of realize where your body in space, where your arm is, where your hand is, and you're trying to hit a different line, a different angle. A golf shot, like I was saying, you're throwing across the chest, throwing straight. Distance shots, you're trying to get the disc to maximize carry and go the farthest it could possibly go, and a lot of times you have to get that disc up. Golf shots are line drives on the fairways. A distance shot, you want to get it up in the air, and with something, if you're throwing stable discs, you want to get them up and turned over as much as possible. So speaking on the right-hand variety, and get it over, turn, and get to S out. When you get to S and turn out, it's going to get a lot more carry. And then if you're going to throw an understable disc, you're trying to throw like what is called a flip-up hyzer. When you're throwing a shot, nice and low, hyzer angle, and letting the disc do its own thing, get up, flip over, and then hopefully kind of fade back. I like both varieties. A lot of it depends on the wind, conditions, elevation. It's what you kind of going with this time. I get a lot of power throwing a hyzer line, and you can't play the flip up, and you actually get a lot more carry when you get the first like 200 feet. You can kind of count on it to do that whole flip and ride. And then even at bigger elevations, I'll go with bigger turnover shots right off the bat because I can try to get it up in the air and try to count on a big carry from the wind. We have a big event every 2 years called Big D in the Desert, and it's just outside Las Vegas. It's a big dry lake bed, about 2,800 feet elevation, and you get upwards of 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, and you can get a disc to go a long ways out there. In prelims like 4 years ago, I unofficially set the world record 840 feet with a 165 DX Destroyer, and it was just by chance I got lucky and the thing flew and got everything it possibly could out of the disc. I couldn't believe it, and it actually flew from California over the Nevada state line. It was a day I'll never forget. It was impressive, and it was right the day before the actual competition. So it didn't count, but unofficially it was in there, and I still kind of claim the fame on that. But my official distance personal record is 715 feet at that same location. I've done 715 sevens before. I've gotten over 200 meter club with like 685, whatever. And there's a few other players here that have been part of the 200 meter club. But it's a blast, and if you ever get a chance to go do that, it's quite a show. It's the best you can do out there, and you can see the best distance throwers in the world. But you're trying to hit a different line. Like I said, you're trying to hit a different line. You're trying to throw it high. You're trying to throw it tipped over, and you're trying to get that wind to carry it and push it forward like a kite. You're trying to maximize the distance and maximize everything that this has got, physics-wise, aerodynamics-wise. You're just trying to get this disc to carry and fly as far as possible. So anybody want any other question before I go on? You want to see it? All right. So let's get this fired up. I'm going to show you just straight up golf lines first. I'm trying to throw a nice controlled golf line, nice controlled walk up, and try to go through the steps. Watch the timing. Hopefully this can help you guys on the golf course, but just concentrate on the timing and utilizing your body to create the power for you. You can make it pretty effortless if you use your body and let your body drive the disc and let your arm kind of just propel it and use momentum to do everything else. So let me throw some golf shots and then we'll run wild real quick. No, yeah, sure. Don't start yet.
Get one across the road today, Keith.
All right.
Soccer net.
So I'll be throwing my AJ Star Destroyers today. They're 172 Star Destroyers.
Let's set him up a runway, folks. Give him plenty of room to work. He can stand on either side, but leave him some space.
These are more of a golf disc.
He needs a little room to work.
These are more of a golf disc at this weight, at 172. They're still pretty beefy, and these are a real nice poppy top. I'm thinking they're probably pretty stable, but I'm consistent with these. on a layout like this, I'm consistent, I know what it's going to do. I probably could use a little more understable disc to get the whole full flight, but I'm going to use some more stable drivers right now and drop some bombs out here. Full out golf shot. These are pretty stable. These are pretty stable. Now that was just straight. I didn't actually get it to turn over yet. So let me get one to at least turn over a little bit. Nice control, timing, trying to plant the foot, drive the body, accelerate through. That was pretty good. So that's what you're trying to do for a golf shot. You're trying to throw a nice flat line, maybe kick it over a little bit, and let it fly out. Let the disc do what it's going to do. Trust that it is going to come back, and just rely on what you know and your body mechanics, and use your timing to accelerate through that. Flying pretty good these days. We got a good crosswind, I think, for these distance shots. So that's the golf shot right there, right? Now we'll go to the distance lines. For distance contests, I use what's called a 360. It's a run up, but you're trying to rotate your whole body around a full spin, 360. That enables your body to generate a little more momentum. It also enables your body or your arm to actually reach back farther. That's where you get the power. You're trying to bring the disc from way back here as opposed to here, and you're trying to bring it faster and accelerate through your shot. And throwing 360s and distance lines, you're trying to aim up a little higher to the left side. Get it over, get it kicked, and kind of count on the wind and the height to carry this disc over the top. Here's some music in it. Sorry. Yes, sir. Come on, get up for it!
You guys want to pump it up? Come on. He's going to go. The more noise you make, the farther he's going to go. All right. He's going to be looking for the road soon. I don't think he's quite there yet. Come on now, make some noise, folks. Let him hear you're here. Let him know you're on the property. I think this is going to be a drinker. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, you got the pole there. You got to throw out the pole. Make some noise for him, folks. Come on now. This one's gone. That may not come back. Come on, folks. Let's get some chanting or some clapping or something. It doesn't take as much energy to clap as it does to yell. So let's hear it. Come on, clap for Avery Jenkins, folks. This one might get the road. I don't know. We're going to need some wind help on this one. Alright, Avery's inviting a couple friends out here. I'm going to count to 3 and I want to hear everything you got out of your mouths and your hands. 1, 2, 3. That's it? Just a little woo? That thing's never going to go anywhere unless you really yell. Come on, make some noise, folks. We're going to get David Wiggins Jr. out there. He's not going anywhere unless you yell. Come on, make some noise! I don't think that's getting out of the water, Abe.
I can do that.
All right. This is how a 16-year-old does it. Get out of the way, sir. Come on. That's what a kid that skips school all week to come out here can do. Let's hear it for David Wiggins Jr. Yeah! Durham doesn't want to be outdone. If you get one of those over, that's going to Charlotte. Come on, folks, make some noise. Let's do this. This is easy. Just clap. Clap, clap, clap. your footing, Jerm. Keep your footing. Hey, you got 2 skips out of that. All right, one of our buddies from Finland. Make some noise. He came 17 hours to show you what he's got, folks. Not even turning around. He might need another one to warm up, though. Good thing we got spares, buddy. Give it another rip, man. Avery Jenkins. This one might go to the soccer fields. Look out in the car. Maybe the trees. Oh, we got runners. We better not see those that played again. Uh-oh, I think David Wiggins Jr. got a hold of one, folks. Yeah. Jerm is not liking this. This one, if it ever hooks up,